Hi. Oh, you guys are really far away. Hold on. As I dump water everywhere. Hold on. Alright, that's better. Hi, everyone. I look a little different. I got bangs. Yeah. So, if that didn't tip you off onto what today's video is gonna be about, I feel different. And I want to talk about it. Basically, I've been feeling weird. That's really the only way I know how to describe it. I've been feeling weird since I graduated college last summer. Again, I use weird because I don't feel bad. I don't feel great. I feel like this weird in between. That's why I say weird. This last year worth now, at this point, I've just been trying to try different things, do different stuff. I think I've kind of settled on where a lot of this is coming from. And it's, I think, 2 or 3 different things, or a combination of different things. One of them is the fact that I'm no longer in school. I've been in school for so long. I went straight from high school into college. I did my 4 years of college. This is really the first year of my life since I was a toddler that I wasn't doing any sort of schooling. That has been an adjustment because I genuinely really love learning. Also, learning what to do with my hair, so I might be adjusting it and touching it a lot in this video. Don't mind that. Yeah, I really love learning. I really enjoy when I get to really delve into different topics. And so, one thing I've been trying to do is make sure that I have things in my life that allow me to keep learning. And the biggest one I have right now is making these videos and crochet, just because that's new patterns, new stitches, new things. It's a physical thing that I can do and learn, and I can see that progression on my own time in my own way. So that's been really nice. But these videos too, I've spent the last year really focusing in on my content, making quality content, trying to engage with all of you more, and it's been going very well. And that's been a learning process in itself, so that's been fun. Another thing specifically for right now is the fact that my little sister will be going to college in a month. I won't say where she's going, and you aren't going to see any content on here about her moving in. That is her thing that she's doing, and I don't want to do anything like that. I'll This is probably like the only time I'll talk about it really. Yeah, it is weird to still be living at home with my little sister about to go to college, especially because I didn't go. Now, I didn't go originally because of COVID, but then I decided to continue to stay home because of my health. But it's just one of those things when you have a chronic illness or a disability where you get to a certain age where it's like, oh, when you're in your 20s, you're living on your own, you're figuring all this stuff out, you're learning who you are, and all these things. And although I am able to do some of them, I can't do all of them. And your brain, of course, focuses on the negative and not the positive. Yeah, it's been interesting to help her get ready and all of that, knowing that I'm still here. I'd also like to be clear, I'm happy to be home. I love my mom. I love spending time with her. Even if I do move out, I won't move more than an hour, maybe 2 away from her because that's just what I want. And, you know, I know my mom and she'll come visit me all the time because that's who she is. It'll change, but it'll be a good change when we get there. We're not there yet, but we will get there. I have to remind myself and say that out loud a lot. We will get there. It's gonna take some time. Which I guess transitions me into the biggest reason I've been feeling really different, and it's the fact that I now spend so much more time talking about my illnesses, going to doctors, doing all these things, that it's just kind of put a lot of that in the forefront of my day to day. And it's been an adjustment. because when I was in school, I was able to really separate myself, I guess, where I had the version of me that did school that did really well and could focus on that and only that. And then there was the version of me that was sick and needed to me to focus on those things. And I basically split my time 50-50, where I was in school half the time, or in school mode half the time, and then in health mode the other time. But now I don't have school, so I can be in health mode all the time. And you'd think I would transition that to my work, and it's just not how it's worked out for me. I find spending little bits of time every day doing my work and spending most of my day focused on my health and healing has actually been really helpful. I'd say now it's more chunked into the morning is spent focusing on getting myself ready, which involves a lot of my health, managing symptoms, figuring out how I'm doing that day, yada yada. Then the next fourth is this, it's work, it's editing, it's filming, it's posting, it's writing, it's doing whatever work that I'm doing that day. Then there's the next chunk, which is more mental health focus. That's the time that I crochet, I bake, I read, I play with Finn, I do things that just make me feel good. That's important. And then the last chunk of my day is back to symptom management to make sure that I get good rest so that I don't have to do a lot of symptom management at the end of the day. No, obviously not every day is like this. Some days I need to focus on my health more than others. Like today, I actually had an allergic reaction yesterday that was not great. I'm doing okay today, hence why I'm filming, but I am using every bit of energy to film this video. Then I'm going to go get chips and salsa, sit on my bed, and not do anything for the rest of the day. This is like the only thing I'm doing. But this last year, going through that transition of energy to school now being redirected all to my health and seeing doctors and all of that has been a weight. And in some instances, it's a weight lifted. I don't need to prioritize my energy for school as much anymore. I can really prioritize my energy towards my health and making the content that I need to make. And I can have a flexible schedule to do those whenever it's good for me to do them, as well as more weight on me in terms of just like the mental game of you are 23 and you don't have a traditional job. You are still living at home. You don't do a lot of the things most people at 23 are doing. And so that has been probably the hardest part of all of this. I will be seeing a therapist very soon where I hope to talk about some of this as well as past stuff. These videos have actually been really helpful for me to just talk, because another thing is I have my mom and my sister, and that's about it for people to talk to in my life. And although talking to them is extremely helpful to get my feelings out, and I feel safe talking to them and all of those things, it's different because they literally have grown up with me. Now they have seen every single moment for the most part. And even if they weren't there as it happened, they were there enough to, know what was happening. So these videos have been an ability for me to reflect on the past and things that have happened, but also to feel like I have a place where I can talk about these things in a more objective way, I guess is the best way to put it, where you would, talk to your friends about things. I have no idea what I was about to say. I completely lost my train of thought. Let's just start a new one. So now that we are a year into this new chapter, I've hit the point where I really want to start making some bigger changes. This last year has felt very much to me like a transitional period in my life where I was trying to figure out what worked for me in terms of scheduling and my health, and all of those things. And now feels like the time where I've figured a lot of that out and I can start making bigger changes. And of course, the bangs feels like kind of like a symbolic version of that, where I have been thinking about getting these bangs for a while. I want to say almost like 2 years, and I never knew if they'd look good. I didn't know what I was thinking. I know I've chopped my hair this short before, but I didn't know how they would look. I actually found some pictures. Actually, I think I have it behind me. I have some pictures that I recently framed. You can see this is little me. And I had bangs when I was really little, and finding these pictures felt like, I don't know, some force in the universe saying,
maybe you should go back to it.
Maybe you should actually finally do it. And so I did. And I've had them for about a week. I don't know, to me, like I said, it feels like start of something new. I've had so many thoughts about change and growth, and I just really want to actually start doing it. I think this next year is going to involve a lot of changes, both to my physical space, because I actually remembered these gray walls are the only walls you guys have ever seen. I painted these walls gray the summer before my first year of college. So, summer 2020, I went gray. I wanted something different. I was an adult now. I wanted a change, and this is what I chose. And as nice as these gray walls have been, they've been a little sad. I want a brighter, more fun room, and I think it's time to change that, change around some of the things that I have in my room, things I have organized, get rid of the old, bring in some new, maybe not as much new. I have quite a lot of stuff in here. But also to my mental space and try and challenge certain beliefs that I have, especially when it comes to feeling like I'm behind in life, which is something I know so many chronically ill people go through and feel. And if that's something you've never heard somebody else say, then hear it from me. I feel behind. Like I said earlier, I have a degree, but I don't have a job. I don't live on my own. I am still pretty reliant on my mom for things, especially when I'm not doing well. I don't have friends outside of her, like outside of my family, I mean. It makes you feel like you missed a step. And I just want to say that you didn't. You are going through things that most people aren't going to go through until they are much older in their life. So that just means that you are going to have to take a beat and adjust. I know the world we live in makes it seem like you need to be on a very certain path and need to have met certain goals by a certain age, but that's not true. You need to move at the pace that works for you. At the end of the day, it's going to look however it looks. When you get older, you're not going to have these same thoughts, I hope. But if these thoughts are truly worrying you and are to a point where they are interrupting your day to day life, then some professional help may be needed. That's why I'm going to therapy, because I've had a lot of moments these last few months being upset that I am not able to do certain things. Like, I'm not really able to work a true 9 to 5 right now. I'm not able, I say that. Like, yeah, I can't work a 9 to 5 right now. 9 to 5 was never the goal in my brain. It's hard to sit here as an adult and not have done certain things, but we'll get there. I hope you'll come along with me for these changes. I don't know when things are going to change, how they're going to change. I just want them to, and I will embrace them as they come, so I hope you join me. I am going to end this video here because I am losing steam quickly, and I want my salsa. So, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. On screen now are my social media handles if you'd like to see more day-to-day things that I get up to. And with that, I will see you next week for a brand new video.